I always thought I was a good dog parent. Until a dog behaviorist looked into my dog's eyes and said, "He's heartbroken, not because of abuse, not because of hunger, but because of the small things I did every single day, without ever realizing they hurt him. Dogs don't shed tears, but they feel everything deeply. And the worst part? You might be doing the same things too. Here are the silent heartbreaks your dog is hiding from you, and what every loving dog owner needs to know before it's too late. And let's start with the silent treatment. Okay, be honest. When you're stressed, upset, or just having a bad day, what do? You shut down, right? You become quiet, maybe a little cold. But here's what you don't know. Your dog thinks it's their fault. Scientists have discovered that dogs read our faces the exact same way humans do. They use the same part of their brain to process emotions, so when you give them the silent treatment, in their mind, they're thinking, "What did I do wrong? Why is my human mad at me?" Imagine if someone you loved completely ignored you every time they had a bad day. That's what we're doing to them. The fix? Just 2 words. Good dog. Even when you're upset, those 2 words tell them they're still loved. But speaking of mixed messages, there's another way we're driving our dogs crazy without even realizing it. The mixed signals madness. Raise your hand if you've ever done this. Monday. "Oh, come on the couch, baby." Tuesday. "Get off the couch, bad dog." We think we're being flexible, but to your dog, you're being crazy. Here's the scary part. Inconsistent rules don't just confuse dogs. They literally give them anxiety disorders. Your dog spends their entire day trying to make you happy. When the rules keep changing, they feel like they're constantly failing. It's like playing a game where someone keeps changing the rules without telling you. Frustrating, right? Dogs thrive on predictability because it makes them feel secure. Set clear boundaries and stick to them. Your dog will actually feel relieved, knowing what's expected. But even with clear rules, there's something we do during their favorite time of day that's crushing their spirit. The walk robbery. This one's gonna hurt. You know that moment when you're scrolling through your phone, totally absorbed, and someone snatches it away. That's exactly what we do to our dogs during walks. While you have 5 million scent receptors, your dog has 200 million. Walking without sniffing is like forcing you to walk through an art museum with a blindfold on. Every fire hydrant, every tree, every spot on the ground. It's like their Instagram feed, their newspaper, their Netflix all rolled into one. And we're like, "Come on, hurry up, we don't have time for this." But here's the thing. Mental stimulation is more important than physical exercise for dogs. Let them sniff and explore. It's their way of staying mentally healthy. But there's another sound we make that's even more damaging to their emotional state. The voice of fear. Can I tell you something that will blow your mind? When you yell at your dog, they don't hear "bad dog." They hear danger. Their stress hormone, cortisol, spikes exactly like yours would if someone suddenly screamed at you in a language you couldn't understand. But here's the heartbreaking part. Dogs don't just get scared. They get confused. They're thinking, "I love this person more than life itself. Why are they making that terrifying sound at me?" Every time you yell, you're not training them. You're teaching them that the person they love most in the world is unpredictable and scary. A calm, firm voice builds trust and respect. Your dog wants to please you, not fear you. But even worse than yelling is this next thing we do that literally crushes their soul. The personality prison. Okay, this is the one I promised would change everything. What if I told you that your dog has been wearing a mask their entire life? Every dog has a unique personality. Some are introverts, some are extroverts, some are adventurous, some are cautious. But most owners force their dogs to be who they want them to be, not who they actually are. That quiet, shy dog, you drag them to busy dog parks. That high-energy explorer, you force them to sit still for hours. That gentle, sensitive soul, you expect them to be tough. Canine psychologists call this emotional suppression. And it's literally breaking your dog's spirit. Imagine if someone forced you to be the opposite of who you are every single day. When you let your dog be themselves, something magical happens. They don't just obey you, they partner with you. But speaking of partnerships, there's one simple thing your dog craves more than food that you're probably not giving them: the love deficit. This next one is going to make you put your phone down. When your dog stares into your eyes, something incredible happens. Both of you release oxytocin. That's the same hormone that bonds mothers to their babies. Your dog is literally falling in love with you every time you make eye contact. But here's what's happening instead. We're feeding them while scrolling Instagram, walking them while talking on the phone, petting them while watching TV. To you, it's multitasking. To them, it's rejection. Dogs can actually get depression from lack of attention. They sleep more, eat less, lose interest in everything. But here's the beautiful part. Just 2 minutes of pure, undivided attention can reverse all of this. Your dog craves your presence more than treats or toys. But even when you're home, there's one thing you might be doing that makes them feel completely abandoned: the goodbye betrayal. Okay, this next one is going to absolutely destroy you. Every morning when you leave for work, you think you're just going to the office. But your dog, they think you might never come back. Here's the heartbreaking science. Dogs have no concept of time. 8 hours feels like 8 days to them. But here's what's worse: that casual bye you give them while grabbing your keys. To them, it sounds like goodbye forever. They spend the first 2 hours pacing, whining, and staring at the door. The next 4 hours in depression. The last 2 hours in hope, waiting for any sound that means you're coming home. And when you finally walk through that door, pure relief and joy. But instead of celebrating their happiness, what do? Down, stop jumping, get off me. We're literally punishing them for being happy to see us alive. The fix? Make your hellos as big as their excitement. They've been waiting all day for this moment. Don't steal it from them. But speaking of stealing, there's something else we take from them that's even more precious: the comfort theft. This one's gonna hit different. You know that moment when you're sad and all you want is a hug? Your dog feels the exact same way. But here's what we do instead. Get down. I'm not in the mood. Stop following me around. Go lay down. When your dog is anxious, scared, or just needs comfort, their first instinct is to come to you. You're their safe space, their security blanket, their everything. But modern dog training has taught us that comforting an anxious dog reinforces the behavior. That's like saying hugging a crying child makes them more emotional. Here's the truth. You cannot reinforce fear with love. When your dog seeks comfort, they're not being dramatic. They're being vulnerable. And every time you push them away, you're teaching them that their feelings don't matter. Dogs who are denied comfort develop separation anxiety, become destructive, or shut down emotionally. Your touch is medicine to them. Don't withhold it. But there's another way we're making them feel invisible that's even more damaging. The invisible crisis. Prepare yourself for this one. Your dog is trying to tell you something right now, but you're not listening. Dogs communicate through body language, tail position, ear placement, eye contact, posture. They're constantly sending signals about their needs, feelings, and health. But we've become so busy, so distracted, that we've stopped seeing them. That subtle tail wag isn't just happiness. It might be anxiety. Those yawns aren't tiredness. They might be stress. That panting isn't just heat. It might be pain. Every single day, your dog is having conversations with you that you're not hearing. They're telling you they're uncomfortable. They need space. They're excited. They're worried. but we've reduced their entire emotional vocabulary to good dog and bad dog. Imagine if someone ignored every attempt you made to communicate how you're feeling. That's what we're doing to them. Start watching their body language like you're learning a new language. Because you are. But even when we do pay attention, there's one thing we do that makes them feel completely powerless. The choice robbery. This next one will change everything. Your dog makes approximately 0 choices in their entire life. When to eat, when to sleep, when to go outside, where to go, who to meet, what to play with. We control everything. But here's what's devastating. Choice is directly linked to mental health. Animals who have no control over their environment develop learned helplessness. They stop trying, stop hoping, stop being themselves. Your dog wants to choose sometimes. Let them pick which toy to play with. Let them decide which direction to go on a walk. Let them choose where to rest. These tiny choices don't seem like much to us, but to them, they're freedom, their dignity, their proof that their preferences matter. A dog who gets to make small choices is happier, more confident, and more bonded to their owner. But even worse than taking away their choices is this next thing we do that literally rewrites their personality. The identity erasure. Okay, sit down for this one. What if I told you that your dog came into this world with a specific personality and we've been systematically erasing it? Every dog breed was designed for a purpose: herding, hunting, guarding, retrieving. These aren't just jobs, they're their identity. But modern life has turned every dog into a couch decoration. Border collies who need to problem solve are called hyperactive. Huskies who need to run are labeled destructive. Terriers who need to dig are punished for being bad. We've taken away their purpose and then wonder why they're depressed. Your dog isn't broken. They're unemployed. They're living a life that goes against every instinct they have. The solution? Give them a job. Let your retriever carry things. Let your herding dog organize toys. Let your guard dog actually guard something. When you honor their genetic programming, something magical happens. They don't just behave better, they become who they were meant to be. But speaking of being meant to be, there's one thing your dog was born to do that we actively prevent them from doing. The social exile. This one's going to break your heart. Dogs are pack animals. They're not just social. They're designed to live in groups. But what have we done? We've isolated them. One dog, one family, minimal contact with other dogs. It's like forcing a naturally social person to live alone forever. Here's the devastating part. Dogs who don't get enough social interaction develop what scientists call social anxiety disorder. They become fearful of other dogs, reactive, even aggressive. But it's not their fault. It's ours. We've created a generation of socially awkward dogs who've forgotten how to be dogs. Your dog needs friends. They need to play, to communicate, to learn social skills from other dogs. But we've decided that dog parks are too risky or too much work. Meanwhile, your dog is literally dying of loneliness. Regular socialization isn't just fun for dogs. It's essential for their mental health. But even when we do socialize them, there's something we do that makes them feel ashamed of who they are. The shame spiral. Get ready for this one. Every time your dog makes a mistake and you shame them, you're not just correcting behavior. You're damaging their self-esteem. Yes, dogs have self-esteem. They can feel proud, confident, and worthy. Or they can feel ashamed, worthless, and broken. When you rub their nose in an accident, when you yell at them for chewing something, when you punish them for being bad, you're not teaching them, you're traumatizing them. Here's the science. Shame-based training creates anxious, shut-down dogs who stop trying to learn because they're terrified of making mistakes. Your dog doesn't wake up planning to ruin your day. They make mistakes because they're learning, they're bored, they're stressed, or they don't understand what you want. Positive reinforcement isn't just nicer, it's more effective. When you catch your dog being good and reward them, you're building their confidence and strengthening your bond. But there's one way we crush their confidence that's even more subtle and damaging: the comparison trap. This next one hits different. Why can't you be more like Max? Look how well behaved that dog is. Your sister's dog doesn't do this. Every time you compare your dog to another dog, you're telling them they're not good enough. But here's what's heartbreaking: your dog can feel your disappointment. They know when you're frustrated with them, when you wish they were different, when you're not proud of them. Dogs are individuals. They have different personalities, different learning speeds, different strengths and weaknesses. Some dogs are naturally calm, others are naturally energetic. Some learn quickly, others need more time. Some are social butterflies, others are introverts. When you compare your dog to others, you're not motivating them. You're rejecting who they are. Your dog doesn't need to be perfect. They need to be accepted. Love them for who they are, not who you want them to be. But even when we do accept them, there's one final thing we do that makes them question our love. The love condition. This point will change everything. We've taught our dogs that love is conditional. If you're good, I'll love you. If you obey, I'll give you attention. If you don't make mistakes, I'll be happy with you. But here's what's destroying them. They love us unconditionally, but we don't love them back the same way. Your dog loves you when you're grumpy, when you're sick, when you're stressed, when you make mistakes. They don't withdraw their love when you have a bad day, but we do. We withhold affection when they misbehave. We ignore them when they're inconvenient. We love them conditionally, and it's breaking their hearts. Dogs who experience conditional love develop anxiety, depression, and behavioral problems. They become people pleasers who are terrified of making mistakes, or they shut down emotionally and stop trying to connect. Your dog deserves to know that your love is permanent, unchanging, and not dependent on their behavior. They deserve to feel secure in your affection, because at the end of the day, the way you love your dog teaches them what love is. Make sure you're teaching them that love is safe, consistent, and forever. The food betrayal. Okay, this final point is going to absolutely shatter you. Every single day, your dog depends on you for survival. They can't hunt. They can't provide for themselves. You are literally their lifeline. But here's the heartbreaking part. We've turned their most basic need into a performance. Sit, stay, wait, perform tricks, all while their stomach is growling and their survival is being held hostage. Imagine if someone made you do jumping jacks every time you wanted water. That's what we're doing to them. But it gets worse. We feed them the same boring kibble, day after day, year after year. No variety, no joy. Food is one of life's greatest pleasures, but we've turned it into a monotonous chore. Here's what's crushing. Dogs have taste buds just like us. They crave variety and flavors. But when we make them earn their meals, we're telling them that their most basic need isn't a right. It's a privilege they have to deserve. This creates food anxiety and constant stress around meals. Your dog should feel safe and loved during feeding time, not like they're performing for their survival. Look, I know this was heavy. These 16 truths probably made you want to hug your dog immediately. And you should. But here's why I had to tell you. Your dog doesn't just love you. They chose you. Every single day, they wake up and choose to love you unconditionally, despite all these mistakes we make. They don't care if you're stressed, grumpy, or having a bad day. They just want to be close to you. And now you know. Every interaction matters. Every tone, every look, every moment of attention is precious to them. So here's my challenge for you. Pick one thing from this video and change it this week. Just one. Slow down on walks. Use a softer voice. Give them variety in their food. Let them make a choice.